Hello guys, hello. Welcome to Crow's Nest Caravan Park. As you can see, my studio today is a tent. Today I have been asked to talk about inspiration and motivation. I had a load of questions come in, messages come in from last week's talk on my birthday, which was the 40th, so I'm 40 years and 1 week old. But before we get cracking, just my niece and nephew want to say a quick hello. So Kieran, Priya, come up here. Say hello.
Hi.
This is Priya, this is Kieran. We're doing a lot of training, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the moment, we're working hard, aren't we, guys?
Yeah.
Right, team.
Call.
There we go. All right, guys.
Hi guys, have a good show.
Cheers, dude.
Bye.
Cheers. See you later, guys. All right, enjoy. Cheers, guys. So before we get cracking, guys, can you do me a massive favour? Because again, I'm in the middle of a freaking caravan park. This is what I love about this show. You can take it everywhere, and we should learn, and it took me a long time to learn this, you should never ever take life too seriously. You know, it's a beautiful gift that we should honour and respect. And with those two little ones that you saw there, I don't know whether you've been watching my Instagram feeds or my Facebook feeds, start them young. They learn by example. So if they see their uncle running like the Clappers in training, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to run like the Clappers and train. Kieran starts trials at Sunderland Football Club for the academy in September, you know, because he's got good role models. He's got people around him who are working hard, who he can look up to and aspire to be like. And that is so important, guys. So yeah, we're in Crow's Nest Caravan Park. Still got the sign in. Still got me whiskey, but it's in a dodgy cup. And it's quite cold in here, so I've banged a bit of honey in this. I know that's cheating, but I like to tell the truth. This is fab. Oh, cheers, Kim. So again, guys, do me a favour before we get cracking. There's a share button on this Facebook feed. Share it with as many people as you can, and get those people, if you can get even your friends to share it with 3 other people, we'll get a lot of things out there. So, as we always start this show, we start with a cheers. Cheers, guys. So, inspiration, motivation, do you know, all these topics that we talk about the key of life, do you know, living a well-balanced life, health, wealth, love, and happiness, they're all intertwined. You're going to start to notice that a lot, that everything that I talk about and that I'm learning, because again, guys, like I always say, I, like everybody else, am a work in progress. The day I think that I know everything and that I'm done is the day I die, basically. You should never ever think that. You should constantly be wanting to grow, because like I always say, if you're not growing, you're dying. So I'm always going to be a beginner. Do you know, I always see myself in everything that I do as a beginner, because that keeps me hungry, that keeps me wanting to learn, that keeps me curious. So inspiration and motivation comes from that as well. Always being a beginner and constantly wanting to grow and learn. But yeah, you should never take life too seriously, guys, and you should always be looking to find a great environment to surround yourselves in. So I hope you've all got a whiskey or whatever your poison is. You know, it's the name of the show, but I'll forgive you if you're not drinking whiskey. I'll never have a drink with you, but I'll forgive you. Hey Melissa, hello from Borough. So guys, where do I get inspiration from? This is a question that, the reason why I'm covering this is because I got asked about 15 times after last week's show to talk about inspiration and motivation, because it seems that a lot of you guys and myself, everyone goes through it, feel stuck, they feel lost, and they don't know what's going on. And remember, like I said, everything with these 4 fundamentals of living a well-balanced, beautiful life, health, wealth, love, and happiness, they have they're all intertwined, do you know, so everything is going to come into one. And a great world leader, a great spokesman, Robin Sharma, he always says, repetition is the key to success, and consistency is the mother of mastery. So, you consistently do the work, you're consistently going to get better. And in terms of the gym, because that's the first thing that comes to my head, we're doing a lot of... Hey Tom, hey mate. Tom was a magician at my birthday party, by the way, last week, which went down a storm, and everyone loved his work. Well done, Tom. So yeah, so repetition is the key to success, and consistency is a mother of mastery. So we've got to constantly repeat, and like I said, good habits are hard to form but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form and hard to live with. So what's that got to do with inspiration and motivation? The question that I get asked time and time again, Steve, you're 40 years old, you've done some good work, and you've had some good jobs as an actor, but you're still a jobbing actor. You're still having to do other work to pay the bills, whilst you're still going out there hunting, things like that. So how do you keep inspired and motivated? Well, you're not going to like the answer, guys, but I'm going to start from the top where we are and work my way backwards. So guys, keep sharing and liking this and commenting. Hey Samantha, and we'll get cracking. And apologies if the signal comes in and out, because like I said, I'm in a tent in the middle of Crow's Caravan Park. So how do I keep myself inspired and motivated, guys? I don't, and I do. I'll start with how I don't. I rely on what I think is the biggest talent any human being can ever possess. And if you have children or nieces and nephews like you've just seen mine at the top of this show, the best gift you can give yourself and anybody else is the gift of self-discipline. The gift of self-discipline is the best gift you can give yourself and anybody else. And that's why when I'm with these kids, we try to do every single morning on this camping trip, we do something physical. They learn something new, and their favourite slogan now is hard work beats talent. So self-discipline, guys, is what keeps me in the game. Self-discipline equals self-love, you know. In order to achieve, in order to move forward, you've got to go through growing pains, and you've got to have the discipline to do things even when you don't want to do them. Cheers, Roo. It's all good. Those kids keep me inspired, and that's another thing. So self-discipline, guys. You've heard me say this again, and this comes from an amazing Navy SEALs, Jocko Willink. Discipline equals freedom. Without it, you have nothing, and you can achieve nothing. Discipline equals freedom. That is so important. So basically, guys, in order to grow and get to where you want to be, you have to have the discipline to do it, even when you don't want to do it. Even if you're just going through the motions, guys, even if it's just like, just as long as you get it done, you will move forward. You will move forward. I'm good, Emma. I'm good, thank you. So discipline, discipline, discipline. And true discipline is having the stoicism and fortitude to do something even when you really, really don't want to do it, because you know it's going to get you one step closer to where you want to be. So discipline for me is the #1 key and the #1 foundation for anything that I want to do in life. Without it, I have nothing. Have you recovered from last weekend? Only just. Only just. It was a big one, that's for sure. So there you go. Discipline equals freedom. So you got to keep your work disciplined. But how do you do that? We spoke about this before. You need to find something that you're truly passionate about. Something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it. Something that like makes you hop, skip and dance out of bed in the morning. Something where your Sundays and Mondays feel like your Fridays and Saturdays. And I can tell you right now, it's inspiration and motivation, Emma. I can tell you right now, I would rather be on set 18 hours a day every single day of the week than be on holiday, you know. And I love spending time with my family, and of course I'd do that. But me being here and spending time with my family and having this great adventure is as much fun for me as being on set and working on my craft and my passion. So the true way to be able to be really disciplined in something is to love it. So you got to find what you love, and you got to do it with all your heart, and you've got to take money out of the equation. Because if you're doing things for money and that's a primary objective, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna fail. Hey Paul, you're gonna fail. And if you don't, if you become a successful lawyer, but it's not what you are passionate about, yeah, you may be making a lot of money. Yes, hey Helen, yeah, you may be making a lot of money. Yeah, you may be in the house and go on these luxury holidays, but your 95% of your life is going to be work, and 95% of your life is going to be miserable. And trust me, I've met a lot of financially successful bankers, estate agents, and they're miserable. They're so unhappy, and they're just constantly chasing that dollar. Don't get me wrong, the dollar is important. Earning money is very, very important, but you can earn money doing what you love. And I'll let you know how that is possible. There's many ways, basically, but let's talk about Steve Jobs again, because he's one guy who changed the face of everything, who was told no so many times, who told things were impossible, and he literally changed our whole world. I mean, look at what I'm talking to you on. It's not an Amstrad or a Commodore 64 for those people who are old enough to know what that is. It's a freaking iPhone in the middle of a field. Do you know, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Now, Steve Jobs, he went to university, but he dropped out pretty much straight away because he was doing subjects that he was told by society and his parents, you do this economics and business degree, you're going to be set for life, you're not going to have to worry for money and stuff like that. To a certain extent, they're correct, and those parents and people advising him, they wanted the best for him. But it's bad advice. It really is. It's such bad advice, because then, let's say Steve Jobs went down that route and he became really successful and he was earning, I don't know, I know some bankers who were earning like $1.5 million a year, and then with the bonuses it could go up to like 2 million depending on if they hit the targets. Now, yeah, he goes off and does that. Do you want games for the Amiga? He goes off and does that, and he achieves the success, and I put that in air quotes, the financial success that all these people have told him, you do this, you're going to be set for life, you're never going to worry, you're going to have the best life ever. And he gets there and he's earning all this money, but he's still miserable. Hold on. Wait a sec. I've got the Ferrari, I've got the house, I've got the money in the bank, but I'm miserable. All those people lied to me. They were wrong. This hasn't made me happy. Money will only... It's 5% of happiness, don't get me wrong. You want as much money as possible because it solves a lot of problems, but your priority shouldn't be a job for money. It shouldn't be. If you've got children and stuff you need to look after, absolutely, you've got to earn money. But for your sanity, your passion, your priority should be chasing something that you love. Now, I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's all intertwined with Steve Jobs and how he got sent on this bum steer. But he was clever enough to trust his gut, trust his intuition, and go, no, I'm not going to do that. And he dropped out. But this is where everybody goes wrong. Oh, he dropped out. What a failure. What a bum. What a loser. He dropped out. He dropped out of that course. He didn't drop out of learning. He didn't drop out of life and education. He had the smarts to go, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. I need to do something else. So what he did was save his parents a hell of a lot of money by dropping out of a course that he knew he was never going to use. And he started dropping in on classes that interested him, that he was passionate in. So he stayed on campus, do you know, scrimping and scraping, eating whatever he could. Do you know, he really lived a poor life, a proper, like, down and dirty student life. And he was never going to get a degree or a qualification at the end of it, but he was still so curious to learn, so passionate. He was still dropping into classes. And he dropped into, of all classes, he saw a note. So he saw this note on a notice board, and it was written in calligraphy. I lost that for a bit. So calligraphy, camping for till Saturday, dude. Keep sharing this, guys, and if you can get your friends to share it with 3 other friends, I'd really appreciate it. So, and he was in awe of how this calligraphy looked. He was like, this is absolutely beautiful. So what did he do? He found a calligraphy class at the uni. I can't remember which uni it was, but he found that calligraphy class, and he took those classes. Thought nothing of it. There was no forward-thinking intention. There wasn't like, oh, if I do this calligraphy class, maybe I'll be a calligrapher. None of that. He just loved it because it intrigued him. The shape and the way that it's poetry. It's just beauty. It's art. And that drew him to the class. He thought no further ahead than that. Than seeing something beautiful that he was curious about, that he wanted to learn about. He didn't think, oh, this is going to lead to money or anything like that. However, think about your Apple Macs and all the different fonts you have on the phone. Where do you think he got that inspiration from? Where do you think he learned that from? That calligraphy class that he dropped in 15 years earlier, before he was one of the first, if not the first, to create the most beautiful fonts for the Macs, for the computers. It was him, because he followed a passion, and eventually 10, 15 years down the line, that passion led him to creating something incredibly beautiful into what is now the Apple Mac. And I hope you guys can still see. And all those guys started copying of him. So that's what I mean about following your passion, guys. When I first started doing drama classes and stuff, I was embarrassed. I thought everyone was going to laugh at me, but I loved it so much, I had to keep going. And that's another thing. If you're not afraid of being embarrassed and you're still doing something, even if you know that people... you too, Sammy. Was it you in the pool? I went... I took the kids to a water park today, and there was... I think it was Sammy or someone went, I hope you're doing Whiskey Wednesday tonight, which is mental. I'm in the middle of a camping place and people are... Which is great, so yeah. It's getting out there, guys. We're going to be in a studio soon. We keep going, we keep growing, we keep pushing forward. So yeah, Steve Jobs calligraphy, he did it because he loved it. If you want to be rich and famous, acting's the last thing you want to be thinking about. Big Brother, there's easy ways of doing it now, if that's your sole goal. If you want to be an artist and you're truly passionate, oh, cool, Sammy, and you want to be passionate about something, follow your heart. That's exactly what I'm doing. Doesn't mean that I can stop and just do that solely. If I have to work 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs, 20 hours a day, I'll freaking do it. I'll do it because I know it gives me the opportunity to keep pursuing my passion, to keep doing what I love. Hey, Jojo. So yeah, so there was Steve Jobs, the man who's changed the world, literally, and Bill Gates. These guys have changed the world, and they're dropouts. But the university dropouts, they're not educational dropouts. They still kept learning. Bill Gates goes on reading holidays. He literally takes 2 weeks off and takes a stack of books because he's still old school. He'll take a suitcase of books and he'll read every single one of them. That's what these guys do. You know, Richard Branson, it's no joke. So let's go back to how do I get... Hey, Sharps. Now, Jamie. All right. Jamie and Ian, guys, Sharp House Productions, and Jamie Lomas, you all know him. A.K. Warren from Hollyoaks. He's just started an amazing drama school, acting school, and has an acting agency up in Manchester, which is going to fly. These guys will be coming on the show at some point to talk about their inspirations, their motivations, how they get the discipline and the mental aptitude to do what they're doing. Because trust me, these guys are absolute workhorses. And that's another thing. How do I keep inspired and motivated? I surround myself by like-minded people. People like Jamie, people like Ian, the youngsters. My little Kieran, who's going on to Sunderland soon. We did this circuit today. He's unbelievable at running, but he's 10 years old, and he schooled me. And trust me, I don't let anybody beat me. He beat me fair and square, you know, and that's just because he's freaking working his butt off. Yes, yes. He's working his absolute butt off. And this is what I mean. Find your passion. If you drop out of uni, you shouldn't be dropping out of education. Education and constantly learning. Cheers, Sean. Education and constantly learning is going to give you everything that you want. It's not going to be easy, guys. The path is simple, but it's not easy. But the great thing is you're going to come up against a lot of roadblocks. And it hurts and it's horrible at the time. But you've got to think, yes! Because they're good roadblocks. Because as soon as you push through that roadblock, you've grown. You're on to the next step. You're on to the next level. And that is so important. So, Sean Glynn, another great guy. See what I mean by like-minded people, guys? People who are watching this show. Sean is an amazing director. He directed a lot of my stuff on Hollyoaks. And he's now a resident on shows like Casualty in Holby City. He's unbelievable. And I'll get Sean on the show too to talk about his experiences. Because again, he's another guy that I really respect and admire. And I get inspiration from. So you become a product of the 5 people that you spend most of the time with. And if you look in your WhatsApp messages, guys, and just scroll down the last 5 messages you've got, what type of content they are. Is it negative or is it positive? Is it, oh God, I've got to go to work tomorrow, oh, I can't be bothered, oh my God, I'm so hungover, feel sick, should we go and get a kebab? Oh mate, should we just sack the gym today and go to the cinemas? Sean is a legend, absolutely. Should we if that's the type of stuff on your WhatsApp group, I'm going to be arshy now. You want to do a wide berth? Because I'm telling you now, your community has to be solid. Your community and the people you spend the most of your time with has to be solid, because you'll become a product of them. You know what I mean? I always want to be in rooms which make me feel uncomfortable. I always want to be in rooms where I'm not the most intelligent, or I'm not the fittest, or I'm not the best actor, I'm not the best writer, because in that uncomfortable situation, surrounded by those people, I'm going to learn and I'm going to grow. And then I take that and I pass it down the ladder, just like this. Oh, this is great, guys. There's 23 people on. Keep sharing this, please. Just keep pressing that share button and get your friends to share it with at least 3 more friends. So, inspiration and motivation. You know that they are fickle beasts. I've explained that. You know, you know that inspiration and motivation, it comes and goes. It will let you down. But the one thing that will never ever let you down, guys, is self-discipline. And I'll say it again, because you know, as Robin Sharma says, repetition is a key to success. Consistency is a mother of mastery. Self-discipline equals self-love, and discipline equals freedom. But inspire like this now. If you're watching the show, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take over the world, and you get really pumped up, you're getting inspired and motivated, and then tomorrow you wake up and it's exactly the same. You've done nothing. You're wasting your time, guys. You're wasting your time. What I would absolutely love is everyone who's watching this show, if they've got one dream, or even if you haven't, find the discipline tomorrow to sit down whenever you can, doesn't matter when it is, work around your schedules, finding the discipline to sit down. Are we on, guys? I don't know what's going on. Are we on? We got cut off there, I think. Are we back? Is it all working again? We're all back. Is it all the right way up? It cut out there, guys, as I knew it was going to. Get a bit more light on this. We're all back. Okay, is it all right? It's all the right way up. Sorry about that, guys. It's gonna keep happening, and I'll just try and press it back on as soon as I can. Right. So where was I? Yeah. So what I'd love is, if you've got one thing that you're really passionate about doing, and I don't care what it is, don't be embarrassed and don't be scared, because I'm telling you, Fear is a killer of most dreams. The fear of failure. What's the point? Guys, I fail every day. Every single day. And that's why I know that's getting me one step closer to where I want to go. This year's been a great year for me. I've booked 2 jobs. I still have to get up and coach and stuff like that. But I've booked 2 great jobs, and it makes me so happy. I've got the opportunity to be on set doing what I love doing, and nothing can take that away. Nothing will give me more joy than that, and that's what I want for everybody else, everybody who's watching this show. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself by positive, like-minded people. Otherwise, you know, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. You've got to find your team, your network. You know, that's one of the main things for Kia Life. Mentors. Let's talk about mentors. Because I do get inspiration and motivation from many sources. And mentors are one thing. So, like, I had mentors on Hollyoaks, and it came in the form of directors. So directors like Steve Brett, who ended up eventually directing my short film Abe, and Sean Glynn, who's been watching the show. I don't know whether he's still watching it. Who is now on Holby City and Casualty as a resident director. Those guys got way more experience than me, and they looked after me. You know, they knew that I was hungry and I was passionate, and I go to them and go, what do I need to do? How do I do it? And got advice. So you got to seek advice from people that you aspire to be like. One of my biggest resources for inspiration. Am I sideways? See, that's what I want to know. Right. What about now? Is it working now? Ah! What about now? I think it's just gonna have to be like this. I don't know why it's sideways, but there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Oh no. Right, let's keep going. Upside down. Right. This is annoying. Right. What about now? Is that better? Cheers, buddy. 5:30 start for you tomorrow. Is this right now? Okay, right. I'm going to have to try and prop that up there. So, I'm up now. I'm upright. Let's hope that stays there. Other way. Is that upside down? Is that right? Or am I upside down? Right. Someone give me an answer. Other way. Now? Is it still upside down? Right. I'm gonna cut it off, guys, and I'm gonna start again. Bear with me 5 minutes. I am back, guys. Right. Is it working now? Have to figure it out. It's saying live, but I don't know whether yet. We've got one person on. Sorry about this, guys, but it's bound to happen. I'm still trying to bring you a show in the middle of Crow's Nest camping field. So yeah, please, again, we've been interrupted a few times. Just like and share this with as many people as we can to get it out there for the last half an hour. So again, cheers, Mel. Yay! Again. Right, see, look, there's a prime example. I've just failed there. Do you know, and like, if that was like 10 years ago and that had happened, I'd be like, oh no. But why? Why? Do you know, okay, yeah, it's raw, it's real. Turn it off, start again, and we get cracking. So do me a favour, guys, keep sharing this, like, share, get at least 3 of your friends to share it on. So inspiration and motivation, we all know. I've just said make sure that your community and the people that you hang about with are positive, like-minded people. You're all driven, you're all passionate, you all have goals. It doesn't have to be the same goals, but you have to have the same mindset. You have to be, this is a thing that I cannot stand, and let's talk about it. Confident people, guys, confident people lift other people up. They give people hope and encouragement and power and make them feel great, make them feel infallible. That's confident people. Unconfident people, people who are insecure for whatever reason, notice that I didn't say nasty people, because sometimes it comes across as nasty, but they just don't understand. They're stuck themselves, but they're too scared to admit it. They're so stuck that they can't stand to see anyone else do anything or follow a passion, because then it's a reflection on their lives and it makes them feel worthless and lazy. So unconfident people and insecure people will drag you down, and it can be like a jibe, like, I don't know, it can be anything. Like, now then, manhead, that's a typical Borough one, and that's funny. It's a bit of crack, do you know, it is funny from time to time, but if it's constant, it's like in one night you're just constantly banging on at that person, eventually you're going to wear them down. And do you know what, people have tried to do that with me, do you know, a lot of times. All right, big lad, all right, big lad, all right, big lad, and it's fine once or twice, but when you're saying it constantly over and over again, I know that you've got a problem, not with me, but with yourself. So do you know what I do? Because I understand that now, whereas when I was younger I'd be like, yeah, I'm a big lad, so what, do you know, why don't you get yourself down to the gym? Do you know, you could be a big lad too. Instead of that, I'm like, oh, gutted. I feel for him, and I hope he or she finds their way forward. I really do hope they find a way through. So you've got to make sure that your community is tight-knit, and just make sure that if you do come across people like that, hey, just walk away. It's not yours. Remember, people cannot affect how you feel, only you can. So people who are swearing at you and screaming at you, yeah, it could hurt, it could really hurt, but it's only gonna hurt as much as you allow it to, because your thoughts become feelings. So there you go. Number 2, I get a hell of a lot of inspiration and motivation from what we mentioned before, mentors. You just saw one of my mentors there, Sean, who's just signed off on the show because he's up at 5:30 in the morning to, I don't know whether he's doing Holby or Casualty at the moment, but he'll be out shooting. So again, boom, and I can guarantee you that everything that he's got to shoot tomorrow is laid out precisely. He literally won't have to think when he's got up, because he's prepared meticulously. Preparation and repetition, another thing. Preparation is the key to success. So he's done. He's going to do an amazing job, like he always does, because he's prepared. And if things go wrong, which 9 times out of 10 they do, he's prepared for that too. Because, you know, when you're striving for greatness and growth, you are going to make mistakes and you're going to fall on your ass. But it's up to you to get back up. I love books, guys. This is one of my main sources for inspiration and motivation is books. Now, anything that you want to do, guys, in life, 1 million people have already gone before you and done it. So, inspiration and motivation comes from learning from the best. So if you want to be, I don't know, a hotel manager, a hotelier, then get out and buy the Hilton's autobiography and learn everything about them. If you want to be, have a chain of grocery stores, you want to take over, and some people think, oh, well, you can't earn money from that. Then don't own grocery stores, because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Sam Walton, a phenomenal book. The Secret, absolutely, Danielle, of course, yeah, I've read that about 50 million times. And again, The Secret's a great book, but it's also misleading, because it just tells you that if you think positively and you sit there every day and you say your affirmations, the world's going to come to you and give you everything you want. That the affirmations in The Secret is 15% of The Secret. The other 85%, sorry, is discipline and hard goddamn work. Hard goddamn work is what will get you there. Positivity, believing it, because your thoughts become things. So like The Secret says, you gotta believe it first. Your guru story is embedded in my brain. It's not my guru story, Kimberly. It's another great speaker. Like I said, what I'm doing here, guys, is with this show, there's a saying, good artists copy, great artists steal. And I think it was T.S. Eliot who said that. And that's what you should all aspire to do, because there's no such thing as originality in the world. There's an original spin on an ancient idea. Now, one of the guys who I'm mentoring at the moment has just mentioned the book The Richest Man in Babylon. So if you're struggling with your finances, guys, like really struggling and you don't know where to start, it's about that thick. It will literally take you 2 days to read. And if you're not very good at reading, let's say you've got dyslexia and stuff, no problem. Audiobook. Get it on your audios, guys, and listen to it. So Richest Man in Babylon's a phenomenal book. But going back to Sam Walton's book, Made in America. Now, someone like my family own shops, and that's our family profession. Indians, that's what we do. But yeah, you read it in one day, Paul. Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's an incredible book. So Sam Walton had a passion, though. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Hilton, he had a passion. He was obsessed with, you know, hospitality industry. That's why he was so successful at it, guys, because his work, he worked his ass off, but it wasn't work to him because he was doing what he loved doing. He put in 20-hour days. Sometimes he wouldn't sleep for 3-4 days. He'd forget, you know, because he was passionate about what he did. That's why the Hiltons have become the hotels that they are. Sam Walton, going back to him, grocery stores. I don't know, I think the majority of my audience here for Whiskey Wednesdays are British, but there's a massive chain of stores. So imagine Sainsbury's, but it's called Walmart. Now, Sam Walton created Walmart. He had one store to start with. That book, anyone who's looking for inspiration and motivation, that book and The Richest Man in Babylon, they're great places to start. 100%. He went on to create almost $1 trillion business, guys, through growth. Now, if I'd have said to you, or if I came to you and went, I'm opening a shop, guys, I'm opening a greengrocers, and I'm going to be a billionaire, what would you all do? You go, you'd laugh your heads off. You really would, and rightly so. Why? I'll bag it in my post. Legends never give up. There you go. You'd laugh at me, and rightly so, because it's insane. But I'm telling you, when you are passionate about something, when you find something that you really love, it's not work anymore. To the outside world, it looks like you are working your fingers to the bone, which you are, but it's not work, because you love doing what you do. And that's why Warren Buffett, for you people who don't know who Warren Buffett is, I think he's an investor, basically. And I think at the moment he's the second richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos, the guy who created Amazon, he's #1 in the world at the moment. In the public forum, there's probably like a million sheiks who are way richer, but publicly, they're the ones. It's in here. We've got it. I hope this doesn't cut out again, guys. But if it does, we've got like 20 minutes. I'll try and get it back on. But again, I didn't want to miss another week for you guys. I wanted to get a show going. And remember, keep sharing this. Just keep sharing it. And everyone you share it with, if you think it's going to help them, tell them to share it with three other people. So yeah, so Sam Walton had a passion. So it's not work. Jeff Bezos, he started Amazon, guys. It was an online bookstore, for God's sake. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. All right, Simo. It was an online bookstore. Hey guys, I'm going to become the richest man in the world. Oh, cool, Jeff. Good. How are you going to do that? Are you going to build a spaceship? Are you going to become a banker? Are you going to become an aircraft engineer? No, I'm going to start an online bookstore. What would you all do? You would howl and go, this is what I mean. there's no such thing as impossible, guys. There is always a way. Now, that comes from one of my heroes in the filmmaking world, a director called Robert Rodriguez. He said, there is no such thing as impossible. There is always a way. Inspiration and motivation, guys. If you're in my field, I want to learn from the best. I want to learn from the people who I want to aspire to be, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the Tom Hardys of the world, Christian Bale, Sylvester Stallone, Robert Rodriguez, you know, God, Christopher Nolan, Danny Boyle, these guys. So do you know what I do, guys? The more you learn, the more you earn. Warren Buffett, exactly. And so do you know what I do, guys? I hunt these mofos out and I get their books. I try and get every single piece of literature that these guys have written or are in. And guess where do I get it from, guys? Amazon, the online bookstore. The guy who, and guys, this is the irony. He didn't turn around and go, I'm going to be a millionaire or anything like that. He had a passion. The thing with these guys is to go into these games, because it is a game, guys. It is an absolute game. They go into these games and money is the last thing that they're thinking about. They go into these games because they absolutely adore them. Now, Ian just put up a great quote there. The more you learn, the more you earn. From Warren Buffett, who I mentioned earlier, is the second richest man in the world, and he's an investor. So he invests in everything. He's got like, he owns a lot of stuff, like massive shares in companies like Coca-Cola. He's just an absolute genius at that stuff. But came through hard work. And one of my favorite sayings is like, talent means nothing. Hard work always beats talent. And you've got to love hard work. You've got to love it. And Warren Buffett did. He started reading books on investment. He just came across them when he was love learning. Amen. He started reading books on investing when he was 10 years old. And by the time he was 13, he'd read everything. It's Buffett, mate. Like, Buffett. It's Buffett, isn't it? I've been asked. I've been told a few times Buffett. Buffet. I think it's Buffett, mate. I think it's Buffett. Someone let me know. Anyway, by the time he was 13, he'd read every single book on investing in his local library. Not because school had told him to. Not because he's a geek. Not because he was lucky enough to find something that absolutely blew his mind. He couldn't believe what he was reading. And do you know what was even better? He started putting into practice what he was learning. That's the most important thing. Like I said, inspiration and motivation will get you nowhere. I could read these books like Robert Rodriguez, Rebel Without a Crew. Robert Rodriguez made his first film when he was 23 years old by himself. And what do I mean by that? He edited it, he directed it, he wrote the script, he got a couple of actors. It's just insane. And in those days, there was no, we call it buffet. We'll say buffet then. And back in those days, guys, it was actual film reel, which was so expensive. So not even, do you know now, this is digital. So I could shoot a film on this and shoot. Film reels. Film reels back then. Film reels back then cost a fortune, and this guy made a feature film with $18,000, and it took him about a year. Now that feature film, he had an intention, because he just loved making films. He had the intention of just selling it to B-rate markets and trying to make like 30 grand so he could make his next film. Do you know what happened, guys? But this was over a period of 10 years. I'm condensing it, but this is why I get inspired by it and motivated. That film, have any of you guys seen the film Desperado? With Antonio Banderas. Good night, see you soon. The film Desperado, that was the film that Robert Rodriguez's first film, but it was made in Spanish. And America loved it so much that they decided to make a Hollywood version of it and have him helming the reel. Made his first $1 million at 26 years old. made his first $1 million, guys. Not because he became a director because he wanted to be rich and famous. Because since 8, like Steven Spielberg, all these guys, he was running around with a camera in his hand, filming his freaking cat, chasing his toy dinosaurs around the place and pretending it was Catzilla. That kind of thing. Passion. But now, guys, so look how inspired and motivated I am by telling you that story. Because anything to do with the art freaking gets me going. But that's only half the battle. So that's what gets me inspired and motivated. But now I've got to have the discipline to put that inspiration and motivation into action. Otherwise, there's no point. I can read 1,000 books and have all this knowledge and sit here and go, yeah. If I'm not doing anything about it, there's no point. And that's what I don't want for any of you. That's why I keep saying, find inspiration and motivation, but don't rely on them, because they will let you down. Your self-discipline will never, ever let you down. So whatever it is you want to do, guys, in life, your passion, not your monetary, like the thing that you want for money. It has to be a passion. The money will come. Trust me. And you have to trust me, because at 40 years old, I'm still trusting it. I'm still doing other jobs. You know, the money hasn't come for me yet, but I don't care. I don't care, because I trust in the process. And regardless of where it happened again, guys, it happened again. We got cut off. So if it happens this time, we'll call it a night. Much apologies, but we've still got a show. We're still here in the dark. I feel like Tales from the Crypt. But yes, guys, is it working? We'll leave it to see if anyone pops up. But I'll finish this story anyway. So this is Whiskey Wednesday, episode 8, part 3. Your passion. So you've got to follow your passion. So whatever it is, if you're into fashion, you want to own a sportswear company, get Phil Knight's Shoe Dog. That is an incredible book, and it's the guy who created Nike. There's so many inspirational and motivational things out there, and people who are doing your dream, who, yay, everyone's coming on. Keep sharing and liking. It's the last 10 minutes, guys, so I'm going to try my best to to keep going until it cuts out. So like I said, reading these inspirational, it's meaningless if I don't put into action what I have learnt. That is the main thing. That is Stevie Brunskill was one of my first coaches who's watching here. Table tennis coach, unbelievable. Always good night Saturday, very good night. Always pushing, always learning, always curious, always willing to progress. Guys, keep sharing this for the last 10 minutes. So what you need to do, guys, is whatever it is you want to do in life, find someone out there who's already done it. And do not be afraid to reach out to them. I reach out to mentors all the time. I go for coffees and stuff with people like Neil Biswas, who's a BAFTA award-winning writer-director. And they will give you the time of day. As long as you go there prepared and passionate, as long as you have something to show them, you know. And I did. I had the Film Abe. I'd just won the Triforce Film Festival with that. Because then they know that you mean business and you're not just a talker. You know, so find those people, because they're out there, guys. Like, I devour books on all sorts of subjects because I'm a curious mofo. I have been since I was little. So, of course, I want to know how to look after my finances. So, books like Unshakable by Tony Robbins, The Richest Man in Babylon, can't remember who wrote that, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. They're beautiful books to start on for when it comes to finances. And then books like, when you want to get more advanced in that thing, The Intelligent Investor. That's a tough read, a very, very tough read, but it is absolutely worth every cent. So you've got to find the people who are out there, because they're out there and they exist. You've got to find them and learn everything they've done, because success, guys, it leaves trails. Find your passion and follow them. There's a blueprint to it, but it's not easy. So you've got to read, find your inspiration and motivation from reading these things, and then get out there and put what you've read into practice. Like I said about Robert Rodriguez, everyone laughed at him again. You know, geniuses, guys, and not just geniuses, people end up doing extraordinary things in their lives are just ordinary people who never gave up, who got laughed at time and time again and never gave up. Robert Rodriguez was one of them. That's one of a million examples, and he just kept going. A daft little film that he made on his own ended up giving him his entire Hollywood career, his first $1 million. But again, he didn't do it for money. He did it because he loved making films. So you got to find, and that's the hardest part, I think, finding, like, people like Warren Buffett were very lucky, in a sense, to find something they were so passionate about that they just working hard was a byproduct. It wasn't hard work. You know, they'd rather spend 5 hours reading books on investing than going out and playing with their friends. Because if you think about, if money and materialistic things did mean something to Warren, he'd have the latest cars. The only luxury he has, because he's an old man and it saves him a lot of time, he has a private jet. But he's lived in the same basic house since the 1960s, guys. Way before he was a multi-billionaire, you know. He's drove about. He just has a daft plain car. These people are amazing, and do you know why it is? It's because the money is beautiful, but it's irrelevant to them. It's not the sole reason they do what they do. You know what I mean? Otherwise, like, freaking hell, I used to play I wanted to be a table tennis player when I was younger. I think it's a beautiful sport, and I learned so much from it, and it's helped me in life, you know, with discipline. But again, to find something that I was equally passionate at. But I knew that I was never going to be, like, wealthy playing table tennis. Even though it's a beautiful sport, it's not a popular sport. You can make a living from it, and a half-decent living. But I'd rather, back then, when I was so passionate about the sport, I was only a young lad, I'd have rather earned 50 grand a year doing table tennis as opposed to 150 grand a year working in a bank. I know that sounds mental, but trust me, I've done jobs where I've earned a hell of a lot of money, and I've done jobs where I've earned next to nothing. But the jobs that I've earned next to nothing of have given me so much more joy. As long as you can live comfortably, guys, you're going to be fine. So what other things can give you inspiration and motivation? Look around you, guys. I'm camping. I'm out in the great outdoors. Yeah, I'm in here with you guys because I promised I'd try and do a show once a week, every week. And like I said, consistency is a key, you know. Consistency is a mother of mastery. Get yourself outdoors. You should be not stuck indoors. You should be outside at least for an hour a day, whether it's walking the dogs, playing with the kids in the park, and breathing in that beautiful freaking fresh air that we have the privilege to inhale. Exercise gives me inspiration and motivation. Listening to YouTube videos gives me inspiration and motivation. But you know what I'm going to say, guys? Inspiration and motivation will only get you so far. They will let you down. Your self-discipline will get you everywhere. Discipline equals freedom. What time are we on? Right, we've got 3 minutes, guys. Has anyone got any questions before I sign off? Because the tribe are going to be back from the pub in a minute, and they're just going to dive in here, and it's going to be game over. But well in for the people who watched to the end. We cut out 3 or 4 times, but we still did it, guys. See how to turn failure into success. We stuck with it. We stayed the course. We did something that no one thought was possible. Who else has done a show from a campsite? There's probably someone out there, but I don't know yet. We might be the first ones. So guys, great show. I'm going to sign off in literally a couple of minutes. So if you've got any questions about discipline, inspiration, motivation, or any books that I mentioned in here that you want to you'd like to read and you've forgotten the names of or whatnot, just inbox me. And again, next Wednesday I'm going to do the first live audience Whiskey Wednesday in Borough. Cheers, Ian. Thank you, mate. Cheers, Kimberly. The first live live audience. I've only got space for 10 people. Well, 5 now. In Borough next Wednesday. However, my agent has rang, so something might have come up. I'll still be able to do the show, but I might not be able to have a live audience. So just to let you know, get your name on that list, because once those 5 spaces go, my mum's like back garden isn't that big. So let me know, and so to avoid disappointment, guys. And then we can have once the show's finished, we can have a good chinwag afterwards. And if you've got any more questions, feel free to ask them. So, guys, please, please, please share this with as many people as you can, because the more it gets out there, the longer I'll be able to do this for, you know, and I'll be able to get so many more guests on once I have it in a studio. You guys have been with it from the beginning. This is episode 8, guys. This is what you can do in 8 episodes. Watch in a year's time. So please share this with as many people as you can. And let's finish with this then. No one's got any questions. Here we go. And I've said it about 3 or 4 times throughout this show. Inspiration and motivation are fickle beasts. They will let you down. Discipline equals freedom. I want you all to win, guys, but that's not good enough. You have to want to win. So, live from Crow's Nest Camping Field in Scarborough, wherever it is, I'm going to go off and spend some quality time getting inspiration and motivation from my little nieces and nephews. I love you all. Peace, good luck, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye. Bye, guys.